Hey you guys, what's up? Lena here from Reaching Richness. Welcome to the first video in our three-part video series on how we can basically break out of the 9 to 5, become our own bosses, and live a life of real financial freedom. So I'm really excited that you guys are here today. I know that you all made it here in a variety of ways. Some of you maybe opted into a list, some of you maybe read one of our blog posts, some of you might have heard about it from me personally. Whatever it is, welcome to Reaching Richness. We're really excited to have you guys here. With that said, let's just jump right into it. So just a little bit about me, just so you guys know who I am. Who is this random girl speaking to you? My name is Lena Elkins. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I am 24 years old. So I'm a serious millennial. I'll be 25 in a few months. That's crazy. I am graduated from the University of Oregon a few years ago, if there are any other ducks out there. Shortly after I graduated from college, I actually moved to Tel Aviv, Israel. A lot of people ask me, why is this girl from California suddenly moving to Israel out of nowhere? That's a very long story that we'll save for another time. If you're curious, let me know. But as of today, I live in Tel Aviv. I've been here for almost 3 years now, and I live with my amazing boyfriend, Eliav. You can see him in the bottom right photo here. And then on the left, you can see that we also live with our amazing 3-month-old Maltese puppy, and her name is Alabama. She's amazing. A little bit about me and my work background. I am essentially the worst employee ever. I'm terrible at the 9 to 5. I'm terrible at office life. And that's kind of where this course is going to start, talking about why it's okay to have those traits, why you don't have to fit into this traditional 9 to 5 employment structure, and how we can kind of move out of it in a positive way. A few other short things about me. I love to travel. Since we're in Israel, we're very close to Europe. So it's very easy for us to go from here to maybe Rome or to Amsterdam or wherever very affordably and within really just a few hours. So we love to travel. I love makeup. I'm a total cosmetics junkie. Any of my friends will tell you that. Thai food is my favorite food in the world. I love Thai food, and I also love Zumba. I was actually a Zumba instructor throughout college, which was very fun. Unfortunately, I don't have so much time for it now, but who knows, maybe one day in the near future. So just to kind of let you guys know, what exactly is this course about? A lot of you might still be a bit unclear about what to expect from this. Essentially, this course is about getting over the 9 to 5 expectations, breaking out of that mindset that you have to be in an office for 8 hours a day your entire life in order to be accepted as a productive member of society in the working community. That's not true, so we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about how we can basically realize and identify our real skills, our real passions, our potential. How can we identify them to see which ones are the most profitable, and then what we can do with them. We're going to turn those discoveries essentially into real business ideas that work. We're going to be talking about how you can figure out, is this a good business idea? Is this profitable? And how do you make it happen? Then we're going to be talking about how you can turn these ideas into a legit online business, whether it's a physical product or it's service-based, whatever it is. We're going to be talking about how you can scale and grow it to its fullest potential. Ultimately, you guys, this course is about being your own boss, having real control over your life, over your income, over your schedule, because in my mind, that is at the core of what all millennials want. They want to have the flexibility in their own lives, they want to be making their own decisions, and they want to be working for their happiness, not the happiness of someone else. So with that said, let's get into this specific video talking about what we'll be covering in the next 15 minutes or so. So this video, you guys, we're going to be first talking about the millennial problem, the position that we're in, the main issues that we deal with as millennials within the workforce, why it can really suck, and why it's okay if it sucks. We don't have to say, okay, we're complaining, everything sucks. No, there are real reasons for why we struggle with these things. We're going to be talking about those reasons, but we're also going to be talking about some reasons that we're very lucky to be millennials, some traits and things that are available to us that we're very lucky to have. So we're going to get into that as well. We're also going to be talking about how we view money, our mentality with money, looking at the ideas behind our salary. How do we say, okay, we're okay with our salary expectations? What are we unhappy with? And how our fear, you guys, how there really is a lot of fear blocking us from making the money that we actually want to be making. Then we're going to be talking about the solutions to all these money issues. How do you get rid of this negative mentality saying, okay, I'm making this salary, it really sucks, but how do you actually overcome that? How can you actually do the exact same work that you're already doing with the same skills for less time and more money? That is real, guys. We're going to be talking about how we can make that happen. So let's get right into it. So here are the main issues that millennials deal with, basically from my perspective, from working with multiple clients, whether they're millennials who are working full-time in a company or they're trying to get on this entrepreneurial path, whatever it is, I see the reoccurring themes over and over and over again. And what I've been seeing, you guys, is that more and more millennials are unhappy with their jobs. It's a lot more than you think, but most will never say anything. And that's for a variety of reasons. I think that it's because we've been taught, by our parents and our grandparents, that this is just what we are supposed to be doing. For the next 60 years, this is what adults do. This is what adulting is. From 9 to 5, we have these, quote unquote, stable career paths. And this stable career or job is the key to long-term success in the future. So this is what we're told. This is a major reason that we don't really say anything. We've been told to feel guilty if we think that there's a problem with it, or to not complain if we're annoyed with it or if it bothers us. We're told that this is just how it goes. And this puts us into a huge messed up cycle of suppressing these feelings, of doing things that we hate for the sake of, an older mentality or maybe what our parents have to say, when really we're not focusing on ourselves and what we need. Instead, we're just blaming ourselves. And that's a huge, huge problem that we are going to get into and figure out how to solve. So here are the cold, hard facts, you guys. It's really important to understand here that you are not alone. If you're somebody who struggled with finding, career fulfillment, or you haven't figured out necessarily what you want to do, I really want to make it clear to you guys that the majority of millennials in the United States experience these same things. So let's just go through these together really quickly. 70% of US millennials are disengaged or unhappy at work. In fact, millennials are the least engaged population in the whole US workforce. That's crazy to me. And when we say disengaged, you mean like not interested in your work, not really paying attention, not excited to go. You're not engaged. You're not invested, basically, in the job that you have. 38% of millennials are already freelancing, which is higher than any other generation in history. So we have to ask ourselves, why is that? 38% of people our age are already working for themselves. So we're going to be getting into why that is in a little bit. Almost 30% of millennial employees will quit their jobs if they do not feel that it aligns with their career goals. If it doesn't align with something they're passionate about, they'll walk away. 60% of millennials are leaving their companies in less than 3 years. So as you guys can see here, people aren't necessarily so invested anymore in that, okay, I need to work in this job for the next 5 years or 10 years or anything like that. It seems to be less about time now, and millennials are now realizing it's more about what I want. It's more about my career, so they will literally leave their company within 3 years if they feel that it does not align with their goals. So it's no longer about time. More and more millennials are realizing there are other more important factors at play. 75% of freelancers will choose work flexibility over pay. The 9 to 5 just isn't necessary anymore, and people need flexibility in their schedules in order to maximize their efficiency. So as you guys can see, flexibility over pay. It used to be about money, 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 money. For a lot of people, it still is that way, but more and more people are realizing, wait, I need flexibility in my life. I need to make my own schedule. I need to work with the people I want to work with, however that plays out for the individual. But more and more millennials are realizing, it's not all about money anymore. This is about my happiness as well. So we're going to be talking about how we can get you on board with that message as well. So again, you guys, moral of the story here, you are not alone. More and more millennials are realizing the potential, what they are able to do, how they can break out of the 9 to 5. And there are plenty of advantages that you do have that will help you accomplish everything that you want on your terms. If a ton of other millennials are already doing it, why can't you do it as well? I personally have done it. We're going to get into that story at some point as well. But the point is that you do have the opportunity to do things on your own and make things happen on your own terms. So let's talk about a huge, huge opportunity that we have here that most people seem to look over. This is very, very amazing to me that people don't realize that in 2016, how fortunate are we that we have something called the internet, okay? We can go online, you guys, and learn any skill that we want, whether it is computer programming or writing or art or whatever it is, or who knows, maybe nail polish, painting, whatever it is, you can learn any skill online today. Okay, you don't need to go into a physical classroom or a university to do that. We have the internet. You can meet anyone online. With social media expanding so quickly with all these different ways, it is easier than ever to connect with people around the world. I can personally tell you that just through Facebook in the past year, I have connected with hundreds of other millennial entrepreneurs. Some of them, wherever in the Middle East, they're in Europe, they're in the United States, they're in Canada, they're in South America, they're everywhere. It's amazing to me how many people you can connect with and build relationships with that can help you further your career development. You can obviously buy anything online, you guys. That's a huge opportunity. And I'm not just talking about Amazon, okay? But I'm saying you can buy access to online membership sites, to courses, to any tools that you need in order to enhance your business. All of these tools are available to us. And when I say tools, I mean, if you want to build your own website, maybe you want to build a microphone or buy a microphone for podcasting or whatever it is, you have access to everything that you need online. And of course, you can get amazing, amazing jobs through the internet. There are plenty of sites that you can basically go onto if you're a freelancer, if you're a full-time person, if you're whoever, and you can connect with the right people who can get you the work that you need. So the internet is a huge opportunity that it is underused in terms of career development, and I really want to emphasize that to you guys and show how you can basically utilize these tools and these available things to move forward in your path. So we live in an era of free value dense content. Okay, you guys, if you go online today, you can find tons of amazing value packed free stuff, whether it's blog posts, it's videos, it's infographics, whatever it is. You have availability to all of this stuff. You also have availability to tons of amazing influencers who you can either connect with or learn from. Again, social platforms, okay? You guys, you can go on Facebook or Twitter or wherever and connect with anybody. That's amazing. Mobile work. You can go on sites like Upwork.com, Freelancer.com, all of these different sites where you can basically say, hey, these are the skills that I offer, and then people around the world can hire you for different freelance opportunities. I can personally say I have clients who I have met online through Upwork specifically, who are in Europe, who are in South America, who are all over, and we literally just do our work together online. It's amazing. So the girl here on the left, you might be wondering who is this like crazy manic looking girl over here on the left. Her name is Bunny. She is one of the most popular YouTubers available today that you have access to. She's amazing. She's a beauty blogger. And she is, I think, in the top 5 right now, highest paid YouTubers ever. She's amazing. I think she's 23 years old, maybe 24 years old. And she is absolutely, ecstatic. She is eccentric. She is full of personality. And she is highly, highly talented in her skill. And she has basically been able to build and scale a career for herself via YouTube. She has a huge following, millions of followers, simply by, taking videos of herself and posting them on YouTube. So the point is, me as somebody who is very involved in the cosmetics community, I can look up to this girl, I can contact her and speak to her if I want. I can do all of these different things in order to connect with her. So the point is that she is a huge inspiration to me, and she should be to you as well. Somebody who is able to build and scale her own career as a millennial simply by putting out amazing free content. So keep that in mind. The point is, you guys, stop relying on your college education for all of the answers. There is unlimited opportunity at your fingertips online. Go out there and find it. Go on YouTube, go on Facebook, go on Google, go on Reddit, wherever, and see what's already happening out there that you can learn from. So that's what I want to say about that. So let's break down the numbers really fast, you guys. Okay, I want to talk about our salaries. I know that that's a very hard, scary thing for a lot of people to speak about, but let's do it. Because I really believe, and this is what I have believed from my own experience, plus working with literally hundreds of millennials, most people are not making their dream salaries. Instead, they're telling themselves a number of things, a number of excuses that lead them to believe that their salary is okay, right? Millennials feel that they don't have a choice in the matter. If you really think about it, you say like, okay, I am making this amount of money, but that's just what they told me that I would get. That's the idea if you feel like you don't have a choice. They also create a story around their income that makes them feel more comfortable. So let's get into that more in a second and talk about what exactly I mean. Let's talk about first, they don't have a choice. Millennials in general feel like they don't have a say in their income, If you go into an interview, for example, and they say, okay, no, this sounds great, this is what we're able to pay you, you immediately adopt this puppy syndrome, It's like you feel shy and you feel nervous and you feel like they're the ones in charge and you are there to basically follow their lead. You adopt a puppy syndrome. You lose confidence in your ability to stand up for yourself. You don't feel confident to say, actually, I would like to go negotiate it for this. The majority of people don't feel like they have the confidence to basically make that happen. So that's a huge, huge issue. Also, a lot of millennials don't even realize that they naturally start feeling like they're becoming a property of this system. You know, I am no longer an individual person. I am a piece of property of this company, basically. They tell me what I do. They tell me how much money I make, and that's it. I don't mean to sound dramatic when I say these things, guys. I don't mean to scare you at all. I'm just trying to tell you exactly what I have discovered from all of the work that I've done and the research that I've done. These are some major, major issues that come down to in this interview room that end up carrying into your jobs and further on down the road. So these are huge problems. And when I say they start creating a story around their income, these are the excuses that people say that make them feel better about the incomes that they have. Here are a few of examples that I have seen over and over and over again. Somebody might say to me, you know, yeah, like my salary sucks, but my coworkers are great, so it's okay. You know, I have friends there. Yeah, the company, you know, they don't pay me a lot, but there are a lot of perks. You know, they have happy hour on Thursdays. It's hard to get a job. So I really should be grateful I even landed this. You know, I think a lot of millennials who graduated from college, they weren't able to get really good positions. A lot of millennials feel this way. You know, I should be grateful to even have the job that I have. Or my friend who works, you know, maybe at a competing company who's in a similar position makes around the same amount of money, so I figured that it was fair. You know, it seems average, it seems standard. When really, guys, we don't want average or standard. We want what feels good for us. We should be feeling good about what we have based on our needs, not on us comparing it to what other people have. So also, these are huge, huge, huge issues, and I want us to drop these stories and these excuses and really look at our incomes for exactly what they are, a number. The truth is, you guys, your life, okay? We're talking about your life here, your money, and others are making your choices for you in these positions. So stop making excuses and start making it happen for yourself. When you work for somebody else, it is not in your control. It is up to them. It is what they are telling you to make or what to do. Really, when you have it in your own hands, when you own something, when you own all of this, it's totally up to you and you can make it happen for yourself. So answer this question now, you guys. What is your dream salary? And I don't want you to start thinking, okay, well, based on this person that's making this, maybe this would be a good number, or, you know, if I had this kind of position, I could be making this. Like, screw all of those stories, you guys. How much do you really, really want to be making this year? I'm not saying something ridiculous like I want to be making $6 billion this year. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a number that is realistic, but it's what would make you feel good about what you're making. So write down that number, and I'll show you how you can basically make that number by doing some very simple basic math. So let's say, you guys, $100,000 a year, okay? You want to make $100,000 a year. Sounds like a good number to me, and because I am definitely not a mathematician and I can easily do this on my iPhone calculator, that's the number that we're going to take. It's a nice round number, it's a high number, and I like it. So let's do it. We're going to be going from left to right here. Let's walk through this together. If you make $100,000 a year, you have to divide that by 12, right? To figure out how much money you would be making each month. That's pretty easy. It's just $100,000 divided by 12 is $8,333 a month, okay? So let's keep that in mind. At that point, you know, okay, I have to be making this $8,333 a month, and there are two different ways that you can take that, right? Let's first go in the orange option. The first thing that you could do is you could say, okay, I'm going to get one job, and that one job is going to pay me $8,333 a month. So, okay, you could think that. But the thing is, there are tons of problems with having that idea. First of all, with your with the skill set that you possibly have, if you aren't going in to be a lawyer or a doctor or something, very, very, very high level, think about the jobs that are going to be paying you $333 a month. This is much harder to get. These are going to be much more difficult jobs to get. If you do get those jobs, typically these jobs are going to be working you like 12, 15, 18 hours a day easily. In my experience, these jobs are much more difficult to grow in. You get this position, and that's the number that you'll be making for the next 12 months or whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's going to be much more harder to scale. And there's going to be much slower progression as well. Again, you're going to be in this position for a very long period of time, most likely doing the same work, the same tasks, whatever. It's going to be very difficult for you to grow from there. So ultimately, I think that the hardest part of this is just even finding these jobs, I think that right now the average income per month in the United States is like $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't live in America anymore, but I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. So this is significantly higher than that. Therefore, these jobs are much harder to get and they're much more competitive. Now let's look at the other option, okay? And instead of thinking, you guys, of getting one job for $8,332 a month, imagine that we got 3 jobs for that same amount of money. 3 mini jobs, let's call them, okay? And then in order to figure that out, all you would have to do is divide that 8 number by 3, right? Pretty easy. That puts you at $2,778 a month. That means you would have to have 3 jobs where you make that amount of money. And when I say that, you guys, I'm talking about freelancing, okay? I'm talking about having 3 different clients who each pay you this amount of money. First of all, these jobs are going to be much, much, much easier to get, okay? Companies don't feel like they're investing as much in you. It's not that much money for them, so they're much more likely to join on, okay? Companies are actually more than ever very excited to work with freelancers today, for a variety of reasons. One, they don't feel like they have to do full-blown training with you. They trust that you already have a certain skill set that they can basically benefit from. They don't have to pay, all these taxes on you and everything else because you're not a full-time employee. So companies in general, especially today, are very inclined to work with freelancers for a variety of reasons. Again, this promotes flexibility, you guys. If you have 3 different jobs, you can probably do, most freelancers work from home or they have some kind of an office, but you create your own schedule and where you work. So for these 3 different clients who you're, working a certain number of hours for each, you could be doing that in your living room, you could be doing that in an office that you choose, in a cafe, whatever you want. But most likely, you don't need to go into their office to do it. You can do it yourself. It's very easy to scale, okay? You can say, okay, maybe today this is how much I charge for the next 3 months, but then after that, you can raise your rates. The amount of money that you're making from these clients is up to you. So it's also just faster to grow that way. You can raise your rates, you can take on more clients, you can switch out clients. It's much more flexible and easier to scale. So that's something that I want to basically focus on is the purple line here, you guys. We're going to be talking more about freelancing. But right now, keep in mind what we're talking about. 3 different jobs, okay? Each making $2,778 a month. So the perks of taking the alternative route, that purple route, okay? You don't have to adopt a new skill set. You can use the skills that you already have. Most millennials don't realize that we have plenty of skills that people are happy to pay for. We have digital skills that most people don't have, the older people don't have. We have the ability to learn a lot of different skills very, very quickly. So that is a huge benefit. All you have to do is discover those skills. We're going to be getting into that later. How do you discover those skills? How do you identify them? How do you know if they're profitable? All that good stuff. So we're going to get into there in a little bit. You can work on your own terms at your own price points. You set your rates. It's not like when you walk into an interview and they say, okay, this is what we're able to pay you, and you adopt that puppy syndrome and that's it. That's not how this is. You get to work on your own terms, you get to propose your own rates, and you get to negotiate. You have the flexibility to scale, to move physical locations, and to change your working structure. Again, it's up to you. I'm sitting here in Tel Aviv right now, but I'm going back to San Francisco in 3 weeks. I'll be there for 2 months, and it doesn't change anything on my work schedule, I can work from there, I can work from here, I can do whatever. You can basically adjust your physical location as you want, and you can change your working structure. Maybe it's not working out with a certain client. If you decide to drop them, to not work with them anymore, it's not like you're quitting from a full-time job. You don't have this huge thing at stake. It's only really a third of your income that you can easily make up for in other places. You can easily pick up another client. But the point is that your working structure is much more flexible. And more than anything, you guys, you have control over your own life, and you enjoy the self-confidence that follows. I can personally tell you, you guys, I wake up feeling good. I feel like I have control over my schedule. I can work on this client and then this client, and then I can take my dog on a walk, and then I can go to the gym, and I can do whatever I want, I have control over my own life, over my own schedule, and it makes me feel very confident in what I'm doing. So that is a huge, huge benefit as well. So the next questions are pretty obvious, right? Okay, all of this is easier said than done, Lena. Where would I even start? I want to get 3 mini jobs. I have to figure out what my greatest skills are. Like all of these things, where would I even start? This seems like way too much. Or I don't even have any skills that would allow me to work independently. Where do I go from here? I'm not really good at anything. How do I move forward? How would I even get these mini jobs, aka clients? How do you even reach out to people? How do you find them? How do you speak to them? How do you negotiate with them? Super overwhelming, I get it. And does this lifestyle even really work? Is it sustainable? Is it something that I can depend on month after month? All of these things are totally, totally legit questions. Which is why we are going to get into all of this awesome value-packed stuff tomorrow, you guys. The second video will be coming at you tomorrow in your inbox. Be sure to see it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at this point, please feel free to email me. You guys have my email address. Really excited to move forward with the second video, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.